Hello, Braves country. It's Coach Ken Anderson coming to you for Hardcore Braves, and I got my man Andrew Davison on here. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. Happy Friday to everybody. Let's enjoy this weekend and then big weekend series against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, here come the Buccos and into town, and we're going to talk about them. They're a very good baseball team, guys. Let you know, we have tons of content coming out, so me and Andrews had to jump on as the Braves are playing the Blue Jays to finish out a series. So we don't know exactly what's happening in that one. But we can tell you this: the Braves are 42-20 going into that game, and the Pirates will be coming into town at 33-29. Braves are 9 games up on the Phillies, depending on the game tonight that we're taping it. But going into that, the Pirates are 5.5 out of the Brewers, and they have the last wild card spot. Andrew, now that's going to surprise most Braves fans. Does it surprise you that to know the Pirates would be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today?
I enjoy it for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're a great franchise. They got a great ballpark. They got great fans. Great sports city up there in Pittsburgh. Um, they're playing great baseball. You know this more than anyone. I was a huge fan of what they did this offseason. Brandon Lau, Ryan O'Hearn. I know Ozuna's kind of struggled, but I thought Ozuna to Pittsburgh was just an amazing deal for them.
Yeah, Zuna is also just for the clubhouse to teach the young kids, and it looks like he's really had an effect on O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz looks a lot more mature. He's had his moments this year. We're not going to give him a complete pass. But the interesting thing about the Pirates is when you have a franchise trying to come back, you have to be able to sell out your Saturday games to know your fan base. And the last 3 Saturday home games, the Pirates have sold out, and they've hadn't sold out games in years. So the Pirate fans believe in them. Here's the before we get into the hitters and the pitchers and the matchups, the one thing that Braves fans will be either disappointed or very happy or a mix of is Paul Skeens will not be making a start this weekend. He is going to miss us. So, Andrew, what are your feelings on missing out on who's probably the best pitcher in the National League?
Um, as a fan, I'm ecstatic because he's tough to face. But as someone who is a competitor like myself, I would have loved to see our offense go against his fastball and his slider and changeup. I think and that's what we're going to face in October. That's what we're going to face down the line, facing more Christopher Sanchez. We still play the Yankees, Garrett Cole, Freddie Peralta, Sandy Alcantara. We'll probably still have to face Shohei when we play the Dodgers. So lots of great pitching matchups that we'll see the rest of the year. But Paul Skeens is the best. Um,
Yeah, I mean, we've missed Paul too. It's been sad as Braves fans. We haven't got him as much as when he's come, but so I'm sure we'll get him when we go to Pittsburgh, so they'll get a chance to hit off of him, but we'll miss him. So we're going to get into the pitching matchups first from the pitching side, and then we'll get into their hitters, and we'll try to break down how we'll try to beat this team. This is a very good hitting ball club, by the way, guys. All right, pitching matchups Friday night. We're going to throw Martin Perez. He comes in the game 3-3, 2.79 ERA. A lot of people around baseball don't realize how well Martin's pitched. They're going to throw I mean, Braves fans have had this guy on coming to the Braves for the last 5 years, but Mitch Keller is going to pitch for the Pirates. He's 5-2 with a 4.35. I think he's pretty much home in Pittsburgh now. They signed him to a contract, so interesting pitch up matchup there. Uh, Mitch throws all kind of pitches. He has 7 pitches, and he throws all of them consistent. He's not the easiest ride, but the Braves have faced him before. How do you see the pitching matchup on Friday night?
um, I think it's a good matchup for this Braves hitters. I think it's really going to be a great opportunity and challenge for Ronald Acuna and Austin Riley, who have struggled with the high fastball this season. Keller throws pretty hard, anywhere from 95 to 97. Um, but if you get ahead in the count, he may leave one. He's known to give up some homers. He's known to give up some extra base hits. So I do think this is a great matchup actually for the Braves lineup. But I'm just really just excited to see what Ronald Acuna and Austin Riley can do. In terms for Martin Perez, I think this is going to be a good matchup for him. Pittsburgh's got a lot of lefties and a lot of good lefties who are very pull happy, and I think Perez can use that to his advantage with the slider down and away, the sinker on the outside corner. But then occasionally, if he wants to backdoor a cutter right on the inside corner, or go maybe kind of up on the hands a little bit on these lefties, I think he can really be effective on on Friday night's game against Pittsburgh. They got some decent righties, but the lefties in their lineup are kind of the stars.
Yeah, their three best hitters are all left-handed hitters, and so for us to win the series, I feel like it's almost 100%. Martin needs to pitch well. The Braves need to win Game 1 because the next two rides are pretty tough. And their best of the three pitchers this weekend will pitch Game 2, and that's a kid named Braxton Ashcraft. He is phenomenal. He is coming, and you're talking about a guy who can almost throw 100 miles an hour. He also throws 5 pitches, and they're almost all equal across the board. We're going to throw Spencer Strider, who comes in 3-1, 3.77. Now, if you take out the Colorado first game, his ERA is in the twos. So Spencer has thrown very well, and so it should be a beautiful pitching matchup Saturday afternoon. The game's at 4:10. Shadows will come into play. They'll favor the pitchers, but what do you think about this pitching matchup?
Pack your sunscreen, pack your umbrellas, and pack your Gatorade because it's going to be raining hot fastballs on Saturday at Truist Park. Ashcraft is going to throw his fastball effectively, and he's going to throw it a lot, sitting around 100, 101 miles per hour. And then Spencer Strider coming in with the gas, sitting around 96, 97. We've kind of seen him being able to get back that velocity that it's not 2022, 2023 velocity, but it's up there. I think that'll actually be the best pitching matchup of the series, in my opinion. I think Strider, the Reds weren't really the best matchup for him. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, isn't much of a better matchup for him, but I also think he's, knowing Spencer Strider, I know him myself, I think he's going to come out and want to rebound after his last start in Cincinnati and really come out and be a bulldog that he is.
Yeah, this is not a great matchup for Spencer. They got their best 4 hitters are also really hit him, so we'll see. I do like the way Spencer's throwing, though, and I see more and more confidence every time he goes out, and so I'm looking forward to Saturday afternoon. On Sunday afternoon, 1:30 start, Big Texas takes them out. 5-3, 2.63. We're so now on the Bryce Elder bandwagon that we thought his last start wasn't great. And he went 6 2/3 innings and gave up 3 runs. That is great starting pitching, Andrew. So I love it. I think that's okay. Let's push Bryce because he can handle it. They're going to throw an enigma. Bubba Chandler, 2-6 with a 4.89. And you said, why is he an enigma? Because he throws gas. Now, if anybody's going to throw a lot of fastballs, Bubba Chandler. He throws it over 50% of the time, 4-seam fastball, 101 miles an hour. But it's a little flat. I watched a video today, and I can see why he gets hit a little bit. And also, Bubba does something a lot of hard young throwers do. He can't locate sometimes, and he walk the house. That's just your little feeling on that, Andrew. What do you think about this pitching matchup?
You kind of just hit it right there. Big Texas is going to come do Big Texas things. He's going to eat innings. He's going to keep you in the ball game. He's going to get the ball on the ground. I actually like this matchup versus him and their lefties a little bit. Just my opinion. But Bubba Chandler, just like the other 2 starters, be ready for hit the high velocity fastball. If he's controlling it and he's got good location, could be a little bit of a long afternoon. But if you rattle him, you get ahead in the count, you get a couple hits off of him, a couple early runs off of him. I think the Braves will be in great success to hit Bubba Chandler. on Sunday afternoon, as it's mash day is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, the thing with Bubba too is he's really good most time, first time through the lineup, and the second time it's off. So I like our thing. I love what you said about Bryce. His two seam against those left-handed hitters should be the out pitch, and I think if he bears it in there, they got really good left-handed hitters, but I think we can do some damage. So before we get into our predictions, I think this is a very good ball club, but it could be a winning ball club. So let's go through the things. We'll attack their hitters here. On the pitching side, the Braves come in third in ERA in baseball, 3.16. Excellent. They're actually tied. I put them third, challenge them with the Yankees. Pittsburgh comes in 16th in ERA at 4.05. They have really two good left-handed pieces in the bullpen, a kid named Sisk and Gregory Soto, which everybody knows who he is. And they have a bunch of other guys. The other guys have kind of been off a little bit. So it's a little bit of the Reds bullpen coming in some of these teams where if you can get in that middle part, you can hit them. The whip, Braves are 1.13, second in baseball, and Pittsburgh is 14th at 1.27. So they're pretty good. So this is a pretty good pitching staff. But this is where they are winning ball games and the reason they're in the playoffs at the start of the day. Braves OPS as a team is 761. That's third in baseball. You know who's fourth in baseball? The Pittsburgh Pirates, Andrew. 744. They have seven guys in their lineup. Major League Baseball average is 709 to 714. It fluctuates. Seven guys in their lineup that are over major league average. This is a real team that can really hit. And we always said if the Pirates got hitting, they would start winning. Well, guess what they're doing? They're hitting. You talked about it. They added O'Hearn. They added Lau. They added Horwitz last year, but Horwitz is in that mix. They've added guys to go with O'Neill Cruz. This is a dangerous lineup we'll be facing this weekend.
Absolutely. And you kind of just piggybacked off what I said, the lefties. Those lefties mash. O'Neill Cruz, as we saw in the Derby last year, can hit at 525 feet. Brandon Lau can hit a home run every at bat. Ryan O'Hearn's a doubles threat. And Spencer Horwitz is a base hit machine. And they got quality veterans, Ozuna, Brian Reynolds. Nick Gonzalez is a good player. Henry Davis is a great catcher with defense and a good leader. But this will be a dangerous lineup for our starting pitchers.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. Now, Andrew, I like to call the Pittsburgh Pirates lineup the Braves Twitter lineup. Now, you may ask why I call it the Braves Twitter lineup. Well, here they are. Over the last 3 years on Braves Twitter, they've asked for AA to trade for Brandon Lau, Spencer Horwitz, Ryan O'Hearn, Brian Reynolds. I mean, it's pretty much the Braves Twitter lineup. I mean, they've been wanting these guys. So get to the ballpark Saturday, you get to see what it would look like, and it's pretty impressive. So real quick, Brandon Lau, 865 OPS. Horowitz, 851 OPS. O'Hearn, 835 OPS. Brian Reynolds, 826. O'Neill Cruz is finally coming to his own, 817 OPS. Little Nicky Gonzalez, he hits against us no matter what, and he's now hitting against everybody, 759 OPS. I looked it up. He's got almost a 900 OPS against us lifetime. He has really big hits against us. Connor Griffin's a really good young kid. He's at 729 for a rookie. That's really good, Andrew. You know this. The two guys that struggle in our lineup are Marcell Ozuna, 582, and Mr. Henry Davis at 533. But he brings a lot defensively to their game. So we got to go attack them. So Martin Perez, left-hander, against these guys. I want to see him work away, throw the slider away, try to get him to roll over the ball. And then I think he can still throw his fastball inside to Reynolds and Gonzalez and get away with it. What are your thoughts about Martin against these guys?
I think he can get outs. Being a savvy vet, he knows how to attack lineups like this. He's done this his entire career. I think this is actually the most favorable matchup actually for our pitching staff this series. I don't know how I haven't been able to watch much of the Pirates this year, but I wonder if they're going to kind of more have a righty focused lineup, or do they trust their lefties against a lefty-handed pitcher? So, be interesting to see. I think Perez can get outs, get balls on the ground, soft contact, a lot of it, and I think he can go attack this lineup.
They've been sticking with their guys. I went back and looked at a few of those situations. I try to find a pitcher kind of like Martine that they have faced a little bit. He's not. He throws a little bit harder. I just kind of went, but I went to Imanaga. Imanaga's got kind of the same stuff, and that's what he did. He worked away with them, and he busted the right-handers inside. So I think that's what Martine has to do. I do like this matchup for us, and I like our offense against Keller. So we'll see how that goes. The second game with Strider, this is the worrisome game a little bit because where Strider wants to put his slider is the top three hitters, Honey Ho. It's red. Like I said, you ever want to look at the heat maps on players, it's their hot zone. So I think Spencer has got to be able to trust that fastball a little bit against those guys. Brian Reynolds, Brian Reynolds is a problem for Spencer, and he has been. So I like to see him do the exact opposite. I like to see him work a lot of off speed. What about you with Spencer in this lineup?
That's the biggest question mark for me in terms of the pitching staff this weekend is Spencer. Um, he's got to attack with the fastball, maybe a little bit up and away. He's really got to control the outside, but then also busting their hitters inside, and then really having a tight slider, diving. I know the hot zone for a lefty, down and in. Use that tight slider, get it below the zone, kind of back foot it, and get them to chase, and then base the changeup. That's actually been pretty good for Strider this year. Base it off, get them to change their eye level. A lot of soft contact ground balls to second base, and I think if Strider does that, I think it'll be a very successful day for him.
I do too, and I think that he needs to use his curveball too. I think he needs to figure out real quick how his curveball is, and he can maybe be able to do that. O'Hearn's a guy that I think we can get him out with a curveball, but we got three guys going this weekend. That's not really their pitch, so it's going to be interesting going into it. So then we go Sunday with Bryce. I already said it. You can talk on it. I think he throws that two seam inside to those, and he's got to hit his spot, but I think he can get outs there. And I would definitely use the cutter against Gonzalez and Reynolds. We're not talking about Ozuna and Davis. They've just been struggling. I think just go after them with fastball. They've had trouble with the fastball, both of them this year. What do you think about with Big Texas going in the game? What do you think he should do?
Big Texas just got to keep the ball low. If he does that, we're going to get a lot of ground balls on this lineup, and I think it'll be a successful day for him. If he leaves the ball up a little bit, I actually think he may get touched a little bit, a little bit of some line drives and maybe a homer or two or something out of Pittsburgh. But I trust Big Texas enough to where he's going to go out and put up a good game.
And we don't know how the game is going as we're taping, but what has been a key in the series with the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays have hit home runs in this series, but they've been solo shots.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing goes with this Pirates left-handed hitting lineup. The good thing is we just faced a left-handed hitting lineup. We're going to do another one. As long as we don't allow people to get on, if Horowitz takes one into the chop house or Hearn takes one or Reynolds, sneaks one into the bullpen and left, if it's a solo shot, we can win. I think control is the big key to this weekend to have a successful weekend. How about you?
Yeah, we got to keep them at base. If you're able to keep them off the bases, I like our chances. Connor Griffin's a kid I think you got to watch out for. I think this is big first, a really big first road trip against the best team in baseball. I'm looking out for him to have a good series, but also keeping the lefties at bay. And again, I have to say that again, it's the lefties. Keeping them under control. You can win games in this series giving up 3 solo home runs in one game. But don't give up the 2-run, the 3-run, the grand slam. You do that against their left-handed lineup, you're not going to win the game.
Yeah, I agree. And I tell you that the same thing that we're going to tell that the Pirates are going to tell their pitchers, keep your mind when Dubon gets up there. Dubon is a very big time clutch hitter. I want to say the same thing to our three starters in our bullpen. When Nicky Gonzalez gets up there, don't let up because he's like Mauricio. He will sneak attack you and have a big hit in a series, and that'll prevent us from having a winning series. So, with that said, let's get into who of these three starters you think is going to have the best weekend. I think you've already hit on it, but go ahead and tell me who you think is going to be the best one this weekend.
Martin Perez. I'm going to go with him again.
Yeah.
I said him last weekend. He proved me right.
Yeah. I like Martin. I got a sneaky feeling with Bryce. I like the fact of what he's established with Greg Maddux and that two seam. I like the cutter. I do like CJ keeps saying, I like for him to kind of break the cutter out against left-handers as well. I wouldn't mind him doing that this weekend, just because he don't have the curve against O'Hearn, but maybe the cutter can get O'Hearn a little bit. So we'll see. But I'm gonna go Big Texas. Bullpen wise, fascinating. Our bullpen's been really good. Now lately, been kind of funny. It kind of makes you nervous. They give up a couple of hits, but that's called human. So we need to get used to them every once in a while. But they're still nails. Who in the bullpen think gives the Pirates the biggest trouble this weekend?
Dylan Lee.
I like it. Yeah, lefty on lefty. That's a
Mm-hmm.
really good one, and I think definitely he will. For me, I'm going to go to the other lefty just because it's a end of a 6 game homestand, and Dodd hasn't really pitched a ton, and I think he's going to have a big spot. Now, look, I called it. I said Didier would have the big spot, and he had a huge spot in Cincinnati that won a series. I think Dylan's going to have the same spot. Where we turned to Didier before, I think it's going to be Dylan Dodd we turn to in this series. So, Dylan Dodd, this is your chance to have Alex hold off a little bit more, go and trade and get in the left-hander. Make him believe, make him believe you can be the guy, and hopefully Dylan will do that. All right, so before we give our predictions, for the Pirates, if they have a big series, who's the hitter that you think is going to carry him to a big series this weekend?
There's a few I really want to pick, but I'm gonna go O'Neal Cruz.
Oh no, Cruz. No, I like it. I'm going to go with the guy I think is their best player, and that's Brandon Lau. I want to keep Brandon Lau. I don't know what Tampa was really thinking. It hadn't affected them. They're first place in the East, but to me that was a gift to the Pirates. I know they have a lot of infielders, but I'll go Brandon Lau. Let's get real quick. We always do on the other shows. Andrew don't get a chance, so we're gonna give Andrew a chance here. For us, who's your MVP to click for the Braves? If the Braves win a series, who's it going to be?
Matt Olson. I think he's getting hot again.
He's definitely getting hot. I'll go. It could be Ozzy Albies too. Ozzy's getting hot too.
That was my number two.
They're both starting to hit. All right, we'll see how the night goes. I'm gonna go ahead and step out on a limb. I watched him last night. I watched him both nights. I went down to batting practice, got close. I watched this guy. He looked horrible. I made some comments to the talking heads. Last night he looked better. We'll see how the night goes. These three hard throwers, he should be able to just sit hard and hit the fastball. I'm going to say Austin Riley. This is his coming out party this weekend. Now, y'all can kill me on Monday, but I think this is the Austin Riley coming out party. And it'll be a wonderful series recap with Ryan because that's Ryan's favorite player, and he's about dying watching Austin Riley swing right now. All right, well, that's it. Let's get predictions. We got to get out of here. So, what's your predictions for the series?
Braves take 2 out of 3. We're taking 2 out of 3. One of them will be a comeback win in anywhere from the 6th to 8th inning.
Yeah, I think 2 out of 3 as well. I don't know. I can't. Usually, I try to give you one sure win and one sure one that's going to be tough. I really can't with these three. I don't know because I don't know how we're going to attack this left-handed lineup. I do like Friday night best of all, trying to win. with Keller. I also like the Chandler, I think, with Elder. So, but I think 2 out of 3. I think this Pirates team is a really good team, and I think they can beat us a game. And so I'll go 2 out of 3. So, got any final thoughts before we get out of here, Andrew?
Not too many. Just get on these pitchers early, make them work, get the pitch count up. They're kind of susceptible to maybe throw the ball all over the strike zone, a little bit, outside of the zone as well. Rattle them, get them early, get them out. Hit the middle of their bullpen. If you get to the middle of their bullpen around the 5th, 6th inning, you're gonna win. You're gonna sweep them. That's just my opinion, but those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thought is, remember, it's a weekend series in Atlanta in June, and that means the temperature's getting higher. So make sure you hydrate, drink lots of water. And the Braves have a pretty liberal policy as far as ballparks. I know we sometimes don't believe it. Go to other ballparks; they will let you take stuff in. So make sure you stay hydrated. The Saturday game is going to be the rough game at 4 something in the afternoon. So we love you, Braves country. Hopefully we come to you next week and the Braves just continue to roll. And remember, follow Andrew Davison on Twitter and at Hot Atlanta Highlights. And you can catch all of us at Hardcore Braves. And we love you, Braves country. And we're out of here. And as always, peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.